Welcome to CNN Money Switzerland Summer Series on Megatrends. Today's topic is sustainability, and I'm joined by Khalil Radi and Lena Gotch. They are the founder and co-founder of the social startup Buy Food with Plastic. Thank you for joining us today. So Khalil, you launched this project, Buy Food with Plastic, 2 years ago while traveling Nicaragua. Tell me the idea behind it.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Greta, and CNN Switzerland for having us here. It's a great honor. Buy Food with Plastic organizes events worldwide where we enable locals to buy food with plastic. With the collected plastic bottles, we built houses and we upcycled it into new products.
And why do you do that?
I was studying in Medellin in my study year abroad in Colombia, where I've learned Spanish. And my dream was to go to Nicaragua and just live in a bungalow and surf every day. But then when I arrived, a civil war broke out, which led to the fact that no tourists were coming. And when I went for my surf sessions, I've seen everywhere plastic. And in the beginning, I just wanted to do something against the plastic because I started to talk to the locals and they told me nobody comes and picks up the trash. There is no recycling system, just nothing. In the best case, they burn it in front of their house or they just dump it somewhere. And in the beginning, I just wanted to do something against it, like put up stuff where they can throw it in and a truck which comes and picks it up. But on the next step, I was talking to local surfers and I asked them, hey, Oscar, what's his name? What would you do with $100? And he said, I would buy food for the children. And I was like, hey, everything is growing in your country, why? And he said, we depend so much on tourism, we don't know how to do agriculture anymore. So since no tourists are coming because of the political riots, all moms and dads lost their jobs and now they don't have money to buy food. So for me it became clear food is a bigger problem than the plastic problem. And for me as well, the solution was not just giving them just food for free. In my eyes, we have to do something to get food on the table. So we had three big problems. So one was unemployment, the plastic pollution, and the hunger problem. And then when I surf, I feel so connected to nature, and my creativity increases, and the idea came up. Why not organizing an event where we can also bring some hope, some music in this really bad situation of Nicaragua? And instead of the people buying this food with money, they can go and collect bottles and bring 10 plastic bottles and use it as a currency to buy a warm meal. And simultaneously, we can do something against the unemployment and hire chefs and managers who organize these events.
And also the plastic material is used as components to build houses.
Yes, to be honest, in the beginning for me, I just wanted to solve this problem that everywhere is plastic, that people have no food and no jobs. I had no clue what I should do with the plastic bottles. And then Eileen, a German woman, showed up and she asked me, hey, Khalil, can I have these 2,000 plastic bottles? I was like, yeah, sure. What do you want to do with them? And she said, I want to build a house. And I couldn't believe that this is possible. So I started to research. And I figured out, actually, it's possible. But before we funded this project, I came back to Switzerland. And with Xenia, she's also co-founder, we went to the ETH. And there is a professor, his name is Mr. Koopmans. He was nominated several times for a Nobel Prize in material science. And he confirmed that it is more stable to build with plastic bottles instead of bricks, and it isolates much better, and we don't have to be afraid of the plastic or people living in a plastic house. So once we had this confirmation, we did a stand-up comedy charity event next to the Opera House in Zurich, raised 11,000 Swiss francs, and we've been able to build a house for a woman with 4 children. She was abandoned by her husband when they left their entire house, and now they live there.
And Lena, you are the co-founder of this startup, but also you launched your own project, which wants to reduce food waste in Switzerland. What is it about?
Exactly. So also from my side, thank you very much for having us here. So yes, our newest project, I would say, is called Social Food, which I founded during Corona times. Actually, during the lockdown, we had so much more time to focus on our organization, to professionalize, and also to make ideas happen that were in the mind for already some time. So yeah, that's when Social Food was born, which is actually or simply a service where I cook, I sell my food, and all the food sold, the income goes straight to the project. And I also focus on sustainability. So we want to solve problems not only in Nicaragua, but also in Switzerland. So we want to close this loop and also do something here. And we just realized, I mean, plastic, of course, it's also an issue here in Switzerland, but we do have recycling systems. So it's a very different story. But what we really think is a big issue, also in terms of CO2 emissions, is food waste. So with this offer, I can actually use food waste to cook a delicious meal that is good for your health, but also good for the planet, because it's only regional products, it's seasonal, and as I said, using food waste.
And when it comes to finance your startup, you were mentioning that you rely on donations only. Do you think social businesses are getting enough support?
When I look at the market, I mean, it's great that it is supported, and it's a good step in the right way, but obviously there should be more support and more financial support for social businesses. Yeah.
When it comes to a personal level, maybe to answer that question from a different perspective, I think for us every day it is so beautiful to see how many people are actually being engaged and want to help. It's it really gave us back this trust in the people, and just a feeling that together we can really make a difference. And we see it every day with people wanting to help and really having an impact.
I mean, there is an increase, obviously, in how many social startups we have, more and more every year. Do you think it's just a fad, or you think there is actually a change in values?
I definitely think on the one hand, it's a fad, like many companies, they say they are a social business and just want to jump on that train. But on the other hand, I'm convinced that due to social media, more transparency, we're much more informed, and we realize that we're destroying our planet, and we take action, and we can take action. I mean, biophobic plastic is the best example, and due to this fact, I think definitely it's more the second thing you've mentioned, that it is a lot, yeah.
Do you think that big business has a role to play in the movement?
Definitely. I mean, when I've been in Nicaragua, I was very surprised. I mean, we did this event, and we didn't know how many people will come, and suddenly 150 people showed up, and they brought to 90% like these 2-liter bottles of Pepsi, and we have this huge pile of bottles, and yeah, you see only Pepsi. And I was asking myself, why? And I went to the supermarkets, and I figured out Pepsi sells Pepsi cheaper than water. So what happens is people obviously buy Pepsi, and they drink water from the sink, and they get diseases from it. So what I don't understand from Pepsi and Coca-Cola, I mean, they're wonderful multinationals. I mean, what they've been able to do is amazing, their network and everything. But what I can't answer is, why do they bring all these bottles to these very remote places, but don't give them the infrastructure and knowledge to recycle it properly? And in my eyes, they have the power to do that, and they should do that and take responsibility for the trash which they're bringing to these places.
Well, you're definitely trying to give a hand with your startup. I wonder, what are your plans for the future?
Our plans for the future...
Do you want to expand in other countries?
Yes, our goal is in the next 5 years to be in 10 countries active. We could already scale this. We could already scale biofuel plastic to Ghana, and now are analyzing India. Xenia Meyer, she's currently doing that, and we're sure it can be replicated all over the world. We have requests from Sri Lanka, from South Africa, from Nigeria, like from so many countries, and now we're doing professional fundraising, and we need 5 million Swiss francs for the next 5 years to do that.
Lena and Khalil, thank you so much for being with us today, and I really wish you the best for the expansion of your startup.
Thank you, Greta. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for being with us. Remember, you can watch our content on our website, cnnmoney.ch, and of course you can follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and Instagram. Goodbye.